Shabbat Shalom, Israel, Hebrew chosen elect, woman in Delaware, back with another Sabbath class and reading of Deuteronomy. We're in right now. I want to start by giving all praise, glory, and honor Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, Mashiach being the true name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. And before we get into the reading, right? I was on Facebook earlier, and somebody put on one of the groups that I follow on Facebook. I don't gotta keep the Sabbath. I don't gotta keep the Sabbath to have salvation or make it to the kingdom or something like that. And you know what? Don't keep the Sabbath then. This is what you do, right? To everybody that's, don't gotta keep the Sabbath. Don't gotta keep the Sabbath. Work every day. Please. You're right, then. Work every single day. No days off. Because what does Sabbath mean? Rest. The Lord gave us a rest day because it's good to rest. It's not good to work and work and work, and then one day you turn over and die and go in the ground. And all you did is work to get gain all your life. But, hey, you don't got to keep the Sabbath day. If that's what you believe out there in the world, in Facebook world, YouTube world, the regular world, that's what you believe, go ahead. Work every single day. Don't take any days off. Because the Lord gave you a day of rest. That's why it says the rest on Sabbath. 6 days shall your work be done, then rest on the Sabbath. Well, if you ain't got to keep the Sabbath, okay, then make sure you work. Don't take off Sunday. But see, nobody's going to do that. That idea, anybody with a grain of common sense, grain sense at all, they're going to say, oh, you crazy. Ain't nobody about to just work every day. So you're going to take a Sabbath day, ain't you? See, the thing is, you don't want to take the Sabbath, the day of rest that the Lord picked out. You want to pick out your own day of rest. And with that, it doesn't nowhere does it say you can't take more than one day of rest. So take more than one. But the point is, don't be working every damn day of your life, because that ain't good. And he said, work your 6 days, then the 7th day, take off. But you want to take off any old day that you want because you want to do your own will. And you don't want to be in unison. See, all that don't got to keep the Sabbath day mentality goes back to a me, selfish mentality. The problem ain't taking a day of rest. You don't want to take the Lord's day of rest. Number one, you don't want to be obedient to God. And number two, he gave his people all the same day of rest so that we would all come together and be in unison. So you don't want to do the Lord's Sabbath day. It's because you want to be individual, like just you, yourself, and I. You know what I'm saying? You just want to be a team of you and your family. You're not about the flock. You're not about the team. You're not about the nation. You're not about the Most High God who gave you life. And even he himself created day 1 through 6 and rested from his works on the 7th. So if that's your God, why wouldn't you want to do the same routine that he did if that's who you follow? Because if you follow, if you're in a bike club, or if you're in a gang, or you're part of a sports team, guess what? Y'all gonna go in unison. Like nobody ever complained on the football team that, oh, you mean we all gotta practice the same schedule? Our only days off from practice is Thursday and Saturday. Nobody said, hey, I want to practice on that Thursday. I'm going to come by myself. I'm going to take off Wednesday. And Saturday, I want to practice because I got stuff. I want to go out Saturday night, so I need off Sunday. So I'm going to take off Sunday. The rest of y'all practice on that schedule. But I'll get my practice in, but I'm going to do my own schedule. Nobody ever did that. If they did, guess what happened? What happened? They got cut off the team. They got cut off the team. So, hey, you in danger of getting cut off the team because guess what? It never stops with just one thing. It don't just stop there. You want to do your own thing with the Sabbath. You also are going to want to do your own thing when it comes to deciding what's stealing and what's not. And you're going to say, you're going to say with stealing, you're eventually going to say, well, it ain't stealing if I really don't have and I really need and I'm on the brink of death. But that brother, he got a lot. He has extra. If I take from him, that ain't really stealing because he should have shared it anyway. You're going to reason like that. Everything is going to be molded into your own will now. That's what happens. So you talking about you ain't got to keep the Sabbath. That's the seed you want to plant in your earth and let grow. Then don't keep a Sabbath. How about that? Don't keep a Sabbath. Go get your game and get your gain some more and get your gain some more until time's up. And then go before the Lord and say, Lord, I got a lot of works. I didn't take no days off. That's what you was talking about, wasn't it? Have faith in you and have works. You meant go to work every day, right? You're going to be looking like them memes. You're going to be looking like them memes where the Christians up down in hell talking to the devil. And the devil's like, what was you doing to cast me out on earth? And they talk about some and then everybody start laughing. Everybody seen that meme? What was you doing to cast me out? Blah, 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 blah. Everybody in hell with you start breaking out. That's what it's like, though, man. So I just want to say that because happy Shabbat, happy Sabbath. Hope everybody has been blessed in their walks and their works. And I went off stage. And I hope everybody been repenting daily and becoming a new man or woman every day and getting right and closer to being sealed and making it into that heavenly kingdom. So, yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and got a comment. That's a BS way of thinking. Yeah, Yakanan, that's a BS way of thinking. It's a BS way of thinking. But that is the way of thinking with some of our reprobate peoples, right? Sadly. Yeah, but you know, you don't gotta keep the Sabbath. Don't keep a Sabbath. Don't keep a Sabbath. But obviously, I'm being facetious. Keep the Sabbath. Keep the Sabbath day. Keep the laws of God. And let's get it before. Let's get before I go into Deuteronomy. Salvation. What it takes to get salvation. Excuse the loud, undisciplined yelling and back and forth that you may hear from these little ones. Go 2 Ezra chapter 9, because I think that's what the Lord meant when he said, suffer the little ones. Because the little ones, they don't have any type of discipline. They can really get very irksome. So he said, suffer the little ones. This is a prime example of suffer the little ones. We go through it very so often with them. So Salakia, to anybody watching this video later or watching live now. So I don't got to keep this Sabbath day for salvation. Okay, 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse. Let's get 6 to 8. somebody can bring that out. Nine verse 6 to actually 9. Let's just keep going down till I say stop. Let's start at verse 6. In fact, start 5. Start verse 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And who's got it? If you and since y'all are in the back a little bit, just make sure y'all elevate your voices a little bit if you don't mind. Anybody? Okay. So Salakia, y'all getting a little what's it called, that game with the chairs? Getting a little musical chairs going on. We about to get this thing going though. Don't even fret.
Second Ezra 6 and 9.
9 and 6.
9 and 6. Second Ezra 9 and 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have planned beginnings in wonders of powerful works, and ending in effects of signs.
Endings and effects of signs. Go ahead.
And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith.
So real quick, so the topic is the end of the time, the last days, the day of the Lord, and being saved from destruction to come. It says everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by what again?
By his works.
By his works.
And by faith. Whereby ye have believed.
Okay, and so the works would be you going to work every day, I guess. No, the works would be your obedience to the laws of God. That's the works it's talking about. The works would be you now putting on this new man, renewed in Yahushua Mashiach, and you showing forth by your works, your obedience, the fruits of the Spirit, your obedience, your patience, your meekness, your wisdom, the way you speak, the holidays you follow, the holidays that you stop following, the do's, what God said do's, and what God said don'ts. That's how you be saved. So the Lord said, 6 days shall your work be done, and on the 7th you shall rest. But nobody ever gets on Facebook or gets in a crowd in a conversation and starts saying, I don't got to go to church on Sunday, or bashing that the religion they follow chose out a day for the Lord that's different than the day that the Lord chose out. It's about obedience, right? By you rejecting that, you're rejecting the obedience to what your Lord said, right? The only dispute should be if you think that Saturday is actually the 7th day. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people who say, I don't have to keep the Sabbath day. That's what I seen earlier today. And that's the mind state of the majority of the earth. That's just walk outside your house and go down to where the main foot traffic or car traffic be at, and today's the most jumping day of the week. Sunday is going to be dry. Like I always, when I drive Lancaster or go out Lancaster on a Sunday, it feels like the world has stopped. It feels like the world has stopped. I feel comfortable walking across. I feel comfortable on a Sunday walking across Lancaster Ave without even looking to see if traffic's coming. That's how dry it be. But on a Saturday, the majority of the earth is out doing the shopping, their own pleasure, doing everything but serving the Lord. And that's rebellion. Choosing Sunday instead of Saturday or the seventh day, choosing the first day instead of the seventh day is open rebellion. And the Lord said, rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. That's where it comes from, witchcraft. So it said you would be saved by your works and your faith. So if you're going to point out one particular law you broke, not keeping the Sabbath ain't going to get me in the kingdom. Well, ain't your rebellion going to keep you from the kingdom? Because that's what you're doing. You're being openly rebellious, right? Keep going. Next verse. So they that escape by works and faith, whereby ye believe, verse 8,
shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in the land and within my borders, where I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right if you're talking about it's not just the Sabbath. Yeah, you gotta do more than the Sabbath. But you rejecting the Sabbath, you're rejecting the instruction that the God you serve gave. But your obedience will have you preserved and saved from the destruction and in the kingdom, brought back in the land within his borders. Verse 9.
Then shall they be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment.
Your rejection of the Sabbath day can have you in pitiful case and cast away, dwelling in torment. So yes, it matters. Because you're rejecting the Sabbath day. It's not about it's not as simple as it's just a day, whatever. It's you was told this is the day to rest. So rest. And when you spread that rhetoric that you won't, you're teaching people basically don't worry about it. You're letting them know you're covered, right? You're casting away his instructions despitefully. The problem is despite being under rulers and governors, chiefly being the word of God, despite being under the rule of God that you can't see. That's why you also reject any type of rule from people over you trying to correct you because you despise the correction, the instruction from God. So how are you going to take it from men that you see and vice versa? So the Sabbath day is important because the instruction is important. And if you reject the Sabbath day, then don't rest at all. Once again, taking it back around, but nobody is willing to just work and not rest So you just really want to govern yourself. You want to have your own law, your own way, and you want to dictate to God what's going to be. So yeah, you said this Sabbath day, the rest day is seventh day, Lord. But look, I feel like it should be this day, so I'm gonna do it this way. But I like the idea. You thumbs up in the Lord in heaven. I like the idea. I do want to take some rest, but listen. I like the third day. Okay, Lord. I like the third and fourth day, and the first day too, because I love going to church. I love the Sunday dinners with the family after going and hearing your word all day to reject it, and then coming home and singing. I love it. Right. So, yeah, sure. But what do you got?
I have a scripture.
Uh-huh.
Genesis 2 and 3.
Hold up. Well, I get though, because right. I like the rest. What you got?
Genesis 2 and 3. And Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified it.
So real quick, so that when you say I don't gotta keep the Sabbath day, you're rejecting a day that the Lord blessed. He blessed that day. Right? What else?
Because that in it he had rested from all his works which Yahweh created in thee.
Whatever group you're part of, whatever you follow, you know what a man follows by what he does. You know that a man follows this bike club because he wears the vest, he keeps their rules, and he goes on their runs in different things, whatever they got on. You know it by what he follows. And every group has a set of laws, and guess what? Because you are under this banner, this group, this idea, you follow those rules and you don't bat an eye at it. You don't buck up against it. And if you do think that something can be changed, you bring it up. And when it gets voted against and the gavel is dropped, guess what you do? You follow what was decided without a problem. But when it comes to the Lord, he sanctified and blessed the seventh day, but you reject it. Because who you reject? You reject the Most High and his rule over you.
You see that, like when you read 3, it shows you that all creation and everything that has been created has been given this command.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a form of putting yourself as God or higher than God, because the creative process, the whole creator's process, has been given this command.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got that, nailed that right on the head. It's your greater. You're making yourself greater than God. It's just like children that want to buck up against the parents or guardians over them. Do you support yourself? Do you support yourself? Do you bring in the food? Do you purchase the house or home or rent the shelter? Do you go? You got fresh clothes every day because of you? Or is it somebody else? Exactly. Like now when you're when you, because you're still simple, go and break something that's like, say, the washing machine. So you go break the washing machine, just not on purpose, but just because you don't know no better. Do you get a new one? Do you fix it? But do your clothes keep coming? Does somebody else make sure that you still get? It's the same thing with the Lord. So when you reject the source of your sustainment, you putting yourself above that source of that. So being the Most High God, you put yourself above the Most High God by saying, "Nah, I got this, Lord. I think this is better. I think this is better."
And by you keeping the Sabbath, the Most High has created a stronghold in you so that he can prevent things like homosexuality. He can prevent covenant, another man's goods, theft, robbery, murder, because you're coming under the hearing of the Most High.
Yeah, when you give into it. Exactly. When you obey, it's gonna and that's the seed that you plant in your ground yourself. That's what's gonna grow. More obedience, and obedience. When you reject it, like I was saying earlier, it don't just stop at that one thing. So people get it in their mind, yeah, I don't gotta keep the Sabbath day to make it to the kingdom. Well, that was the instruction. That's a blessed day. You're casting that off. If so, you mean tell me it's gonna stop there? No, you're self-willed, and it's not gonna stop there. Now it's gonna be the next thing. You're gonna come up with reasons you don't have to keep it, like stealing. And it goes into madness. You'll say, yeah, stealing's wrong, like Christians do. Stealing's wrong. Do I keep commandments? No. Are you supposed to steal? No. Wait, what? But the reason it's like that is because that's literally going to change with you when it depends on circumstance. Yeah, if I get in a bad enough situation, I'm going to reason where, okay, it's okay to steal because this. I'm in on the bottom, don't got nothing. He's doing good, got extra. He should have already been helping me out, but I'll just take a little something of what he got. And it's not sin because I don't got nothing. That's the way you'll reason. And it'll continue to be you reasoning to break this law, to break that law, because you're self-willed. And like you said, you're putting yourself above God. You're going to decide what's righteous and what's not. And that's why no matter what you're a part of, there has to be written laws that aren't changed. They just set in stone. Because if not, everybody will set to their own mind what's right and what's wrong, and it'll change depending on circumstance and depending on individual. And that's the world we got now, even with the laws that they got up in each state that's written, because they change, and it depends, and really it depends on your how much money you got, what type of favor you got. It's an unrighteous kingdom. So even with the written laws, that can change. Who's held to the standards and who's not, and when they break, who gets this punishment? That's all madness and unrighteous, unequally balanced. And that's what people are trying to do with the Lord's law when they get on social media platforms or inside different circles they're part of, and they try to speak these things to life, which is, oh, you don't got to do this, you don't got to do that, because they're really trying to they're in death, and they're trying to bring others into death with them. Misery loves company. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Really, it's about mainly, I don't want to keep the Sabbath day because there's other stuff that I want to do. A lot of people I want to go out Friday night because that's a real popular night to go out, have fun. Everybody's going out. We just got off work, get drunk. And I'm not trying to worship on Saturday. I'm trying to recover from a hangover. Right? I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out who I woke up next to the rest of the day. Right? Not go and serve the Lord. Or get money. You know, DoorDash, and what's the most popular days for DoorDash? Weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Wait, take off Saturday? How much money I can get? They doing +3 per order. It's a lot of money to be made on a Saturday. So that's what it usually be about. Because once again, nobody Nobody just goes without having rest days. But it's the disobedience. You want to set your own standard. And back to Second Ezra, you despise the governance of God and his son. While claiming it, you reject his son. You reject him. I love God if he lets me choose. That's what you be saying. I love God if I get to pick. Just like rebellious children. I love my parents, and I'm not going to be a problem if I get to pick. I get to decide what's going to keep the house at peace. It's the same thing. Second Ezra 9, verse 10.
For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me,
Mm-hmm.
and they that have loathed my law.
And that's the problem. You loathe the law, the instructions. Because he picked the most popping day of the week. For me to have to shut it down, I hate that. I'm trying to turn up. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to go do my pleasure. Hopefully meet something strange. For a little piece of change or free, both are good with me. Right? I don't like the law, the instruction, because it means I got to discipline my life. I can't have fun. I can't pick other days to have fun. Everybody else, I want to follow the flock of wolves, not the sheep. I want to be with the goats, not the sheep. Keep going. Loathe the law.
While they had yet liberty, and when as yet
Because and guess what? We still close to Juneteenth. Yeah, that was a form of liberty. The Lord with Juneteenth, the Emancipation Proclamation, he gave us a little bit of liberty, right? We still in captivity, but we got some liberty. You can go freely. You can't go too far, but hey, y'all can visit all the various different states. No passport needed. Just make sure you're paying your taxes, your bills. You're going to work and you ain't breaking my laws. Y'all can have a little bit of liberty. Y'all can move around this place called Egypt. Right? So while we got liberty from a punishment that's for disobedience, we still disobey because we loathe God's law. And that's why we go out and we say things and try to push forth the ideas of you don't got to keep the Sabbath to make it to the kingdom. You don't got to keep the laws of God to make it to his kingdom.
You don't have to keep a beard.
You don't got to keep a beard, right? You clean shaven. Beards collect germs. I forget what the NOI says, but they like something about it's filthy and he like God didn't mean it or something. It's madness. Like it collects germs. That was for then, not for now. That whole different time thing. That's an argument sometimes. That was then, but times have changed. A day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. 1,000 years is a day with the Lord. Times ain't changed with the Lord. He lives in eternity. All this time you talking about times changed, right? Because you know of history that goes back 2,000 years, 700 years. Man, that's still this same speckle of time with the Most High. Times ain't changed with the Lord. So it's because you really loathe that law, the instruction, having to be in obedience. Go ahead.
And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place as repentance was open unto them.
And that's what we was given. We was given a place of repentance by that. You was set free from antebellum slavery and able to partake in what? Certain constitutional rights, not all of them. But now you got freedom of religion now. On the plantation, did you have freedom of religion? That didn't exist, did it? Who got freedom of religion on a plantation in 1860? Nobody, except the slave owner, the oppressor. So this is talking about definitely. First off, definitely talk about our people, our history, and what we see with our people today. We was given liberty by the different laws and civil rights movements and fighting for all these different freedoms, but still underneath of Esau, that was liberty though, because now you was able to partake in freedom of religion. The door was open with your liberty to come back to your God, to actually come and seek repentance, and to, as a people, be saved from that captivity, to be restored. That's what we're reading about here. Go ahead.
Yet place of repentance was open to them, understood not, but despised it.
You see that? So our people don't understand, and they despise it. Because, I've been taught this in the church all day, and that's good. I can come on Sunday. I can go out Saturday, Friday, do my thing. I don't got to really keep no laws. I can be a demon. I can be a YN. I can be whatever I want to be. I don't have to be obedient to God. And then when they do find out, what do? They reject it because, I despise that. Same thing with, I don't got to keep the Sabbath day. I reject that. I despise that. Like you said, I don't got to grow my beard. I reject that. I despise that. It's okay to be in the alphabet community. I reject that law. I despise that. But this time from Juneteenth up until the day is and as long as it goes that Christ ain't returned, that's time for repentance being opened up to us. But what do we see? Rejection. Our people reject that, despise the laws of God. That's the fruits they're bearing. When you see these things, or hear these things, that's one of the ones. You despise the God you claim to serve. You got a cross on your neck because supposedly you follow Christ, your Savior, but you reject the instructions because they say Christ is God. If Christ is God, then who wrote the Sabbath day? If Christ is God, who said grow your beard, not to lay with man as with woman? If Christ is God, then Christ said that. But it's about rejecting Christ, rejecting the Most High, despising Christ, despising the Most High. Verse 12.
The same must know it after death by pain.
The same must know it after death by pain. We'll drop it right there. Now we go into Deuteronomy. Now we get into this reading. Now we get into the laws of God, keeping the Sabbath, learning how to love our brother as ourselves, learning how to worship our God and only have one God. We doing Deuteronomy chapter 9, but let's reverse just 3 verses, 8 verse 18 down.
Chapter 8.
Yep, 8 verse 18 down. I want you can read a verse when I go to a verse, but I want one of them to read the reading through.
Chapter 8, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
But thou shalt remember the most high thy power.
Mm-hmm.
For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth.
So first and foremost, this is a law that you are always to remember Yahweh, your God, right? Meaning your governor, right? Always to remember him. Him who said, remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. When you don't got to keep the Sabbath day, you forgetting your God, your power, your governor, right? So if you don't got to do Sabbath, you don't got to do this law. You see how dumb that is? If you don't got to remember the Sabbath day, you don't got to keep that. You also don't have to keep this. You don't got to remember Yahweh, your God. And that is him that gives you power to get wealth. So that's why we go to children. Who gives you the ability to play video games? Who gave you the ability to go outside and play basketball, ride bikes, or whatever it is? The same person you don't want to obey. Right? So same thing with the Most High. It's a law. Remember Yahweh, because he's the one who gives you power to get wealth. You don't want to keep the Sabbath day. You just want to get wealth and have fun. You don't remember your God. You don't remember his son. You think it's all you. Like Kalak said earlier, you make yourself God. You put yourself above your God. You don't want to keep the Sabbath because you think that your business is good because you made it good. You think that you got a house and home and a couple cars and you're able to keep fresh new sneakers, whatever comes out on your feet, because you did that yourself. So you don't need to be in obedience. You can set your own Sabbath days for yourself, because I get wealth by my own power. That's why on Saturday, on the seventh day, I ain't taking a break, because that's when I'm really going to get game. That's when everybody's out ready to spend the money that they've been working all week to get. So rest the seventh day. Don't you know I provided? That's how I provide for myself. I do for myself. Ain't that what they say? I got it on my own. Nobody did this but me. It's a law to remember. Yahweh is the only reason you got a t-shirt on your back. You got clothes to wear, period, house, food, money to pay your bills. That's all by the power of the Most High. So he said, rest the seventh day. Rest your ass on the seventh day. Keep going.
But thou shalt remember the Most High thy power, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto thy fathers as it is this day.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Most High thy power, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testified against you that the day that you shall surely perish.
So what does it mean to walk after other gods, other powers, their work, to walk after their ways, follow their doctrines, their actions, serve them and worship them? How do you serve other gods? By being obedient to their laws, their ordinances. Nobody that says you don't got to keep the Sabbath day to get saved says I don't got to stop at stop signs. What they do? They keep them laws. Nobody that says I don't got to keep the Sabbath day rejects the law that I don't got to pay taxes. Right? They go to work and they pay their taxes. You keep all the laws that society gives you, but you reject the instructions from God. Then who do you serve and who do you walk after? You walk after Esau that gave you them laws that you keep so diligently. You stop at every red light. When the police get behind you, you get nervous. You make sure your seatbelt's on. You straighten up. Now you holding the wheel with two hands. Ain't that what they do? They be one hand in it, laid back. Then as soon as an officer gets behind them, they straighten up in their seat, put two hands on the steering wheel. But I tell you, you don't got to keep the Sabbath, but they keep all them laws diligently. It says that that's when you forgot your God. When you walk after other gods, that's powers, that's governors, judges. And you serve and worship them. You keep their ways. Or you make yourself a god. You just be making up whatever is right and wrong. Yeah, I run stop signs when I feel like it. I ain't worried about the police. I'm in the spirit. I got Christ. But I'm setting up my own laws of what's right and what's wrong with Christ, with the Father. So now you a God. You was never supposed to do that. That's what that means when you say, I don't gotta grow my beard, I don't gotta keep the Sabbath, I don't gotta this, I don't gotta that. God made all days alike. Okay, he made all days and then he blessed some. He made some Sabbath days. He made some high days. Nah, you know what? That's a good thing, but I think he chose the wrong days. That's all. Esau got better days. July 4th is a great day to have a holy day. Lord ain't give me no July holidays. We need one. We have cookouts and sprinklers. Why? I don't know why he ain't choose no summer days. And port. And don't get me started on that. That's what I mean. Thank you. That's actually good. So I don't remember who posted about the Sabbath day. I think it might have been a heathen, but it might have been Jake with just a regular name. But it's a Christian. Even inside the Israelite community, those who teach keeping the law, teach not keeping the days of the oppressor. These cats was just having a 4th of July cookout, but saying, I'm not keeping the 4th of July. You know what they said? The all black cookout, but you know what? You might not have seen this part. I've seen the interview, little snippet. He said, we're not celebrating the independence of America. We're celebrating the independence of waking up to the truth. I heard him say that out of his mouth. Making up stuff. But then, here's the hypocrisy. You'll get on in class and you'll teach how these other cats that was keeping, remember Thanksgiving, called it Yahushua Day. You'll say that's wicked, but you'll go and do the same thing. You'll go and do the same thing. That's walking after other gods. Yeah.
The 501c3 thing. You think that's part of like the compromise? Because ain't it like something with that?
I think there's.
They gotta do something, abide by certain things.
That's the thing about it. I'm not sure. That's something I heard, like you. Yeah. But here's the thing. For me to know for a fact, I gotta go out there and get one. I gotta go out there and get one. Because say I go out there and get one and don't nobody ever come to me with something like that. Somebody else is gonna say, hey, y'all niggas wicked. You got a 501c3. Because when you got a 501c3, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Really, they do what they want, really.
That's what I see.
Stuff like that pop up and make you question, like, is that the thing that they gotta do?
I just
like, yo, you on
yeah. I feel like
250th year of America. So
yeah. I feel like it's possibly true, but at the same time, I don't got one to really know for certain. Because everybody got a 501c3. None of them are doing the exact same thing. Like you said, you see a lot of people do what they want.
So something crazy out the way.
So that's like So is that possible? It's possible.
You gotta look at the bylaw.
It could just be COINTELPRO though. Like it could have nothing to do with the 501c3. It could just be. It could just be cats coming like, hey, I know what y'all teaching. If you mess up this a little bit, we can give you that money. Like it could be because look at ICGJC. They was way past a 501c3. This cat was getting millions. So if they have a 501c3, but somebody's over here like, okay, I'm giving you this other money for yourself. That could be why there's, you see what I'm saying? That could be why there's a little something off with the group. Because is it understandable why you would want a 501c3? There's benefits to it, right?
Yeah.
So that could be coincidental because we do know it's a fact that COINTELPRO exists and they're going to come in there and try to do something that's separate from 501c3. So, yeah, with me, I'd say I've heard the same rumors you have. Can't verify it unless I'm in that situation to have one. But there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people go off just off of pride. Like, I get myself in a position, I can get thousands of men under me, and nobody can tell me nothing. And I'm gonna run it the way I feel, the way I like. Set my own rules for what's righteous and what's not. Like, I don't like the way it looks for fringes on a t-shirt. It's my opinion that it looks gay. So I'm going to teach all my followers that it is gay. And I'm going to teach them that it's not a garment. Fringes are supposed to be worn, but they go somewhere else. You know, I'm going to come up with doctrines that suit myself, whether they make sense or not. That's where it's like, okay, men, at the same time, you got possibilities of benefits and people behind the benefits saying, yeah, you get this benefit if you do this, do that. It's also a fact that men get lifted up with pride and they do things just off of that. And they create all types of doctrines because, look, how am I going to get all these people to me? We got to have when it's about getting people to you, your thought process is to find things that align and look like righteousness, but at the same time, more people are going to be in tune with and like, and I'm going to make a doctrine off of that. That way I can get all these people in, and with a lot of people, what comes with that? A lot of offerings and tithes. There's so many ways to get money underhandedly. That's why it's like, man, I don't know. I do know though that we got a lot of our people that cast off the laws and instructions of God and follow their own gods, whether it be their self or other men. And you know them by what? What they follow, what they hold themselves to. And some groups, they blatantly tell you, I'm worshiping Christ under commanding general such and such. Right? But then some, they don't tell you. Some will tell you, no, I just worship Christ, but don't follow the instructions that Christ gave. So how do you know who they follow? Go and see what instructions, what standards they do follow. That's their God. And sometimes it's their self. That's when you'll find them. They don't follow anybody's one set of standards. That's because they want to be the God. They set themselves up as God. So now they just looking for followers. That's the categories. That's how it goes. And that's what we see. And that's what you have to look out for, though, is Isaiah 28:10. That's why this is so important. Isaiah 28:10 is the safety net. And then I'm gonna give you an example because, like we talking about with like the group that just did 4th of July, they're gonna, for example, take fringes and say, yeah, we teach fringes. That's just not where they go. Well, guess what? You ain't gonna find nowhere in this book that it says don't put fringes on any particular garment. That's gonna be the argument. T-shirts, underwear, you don't put fringes on t-shirts. You're breaking the commandments. Fringe is only supposed to go on your tunic or out. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. Or your pants. The Bible just says garments. But that's how when you're crafty, they'll use the Bible to say, nah, we teaching out of the law. See, we do teach you got to have fringes. But you putting it on the wrong thing. Well, that's when you still follow this. Isaiah 28:10. I mean,
Isaiah 28:10 is...
No. The noise is messing up my mind. Hey, what's it where if they speak not according to this law, is no light in them? 8:20. Yeah, Isaiah 8:20.
Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because they have no light in them.
So it's because there's no light in them. When these cats talk about you don't gotta keep this feast day, this law, that law, we're reading. We're reading where light is. God, it said, like Kalak brought out, God blessed and sanctified the seventh day. For you to say anything different is not remembering Yahweh your God, and you're not serving him, you're serving yourself or somebody else, right? And when you do that, you shall surely perish. If you are not keeping Sabbath day and you believe that, you should just be quiet about it because you're wrong. But at least then you won't be teaching others to do so. You should just shut up and do your whatever you believe in. Because it's way too many scriptures, too many verses that are literally the Most High speaking to say that the seventh day is very important. If you need a reason behind what's important about it, why can't we ever just go with the fact just because he said so? I don't know why, because he said. So back to verse 19. It's I think you're at 20 now. So it said, you shall surely perish when you do this thing.
Verse 20. As the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face so shall ye perish, because ye will not be obedient unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
And that's the thing. We all these different doctrines, like you don't gotta keep Sabbath day and shave your beard, literally was passed down from the heathen nations, and specifically the nations that put your ancestors in captivity, that we're still subject to. That's who's teaching these that's where these doctrines come from. What pope? Does anybody remember the exact pope? But it was a pope that said, "Hey, we're gonna make the Lord's Day Sunday. We ain't gonna do Saturday."
Francis? Was it Francis?
One of them.
I don't remember. It's too many.
But yeah,
they all
it was an Edomite. It was a heathen. It said, "Don't forget your Lord thy God, because you're learning from the nations that he's going to destroy or has destroyed in time past for their not knowing him, not searching for obedience." See, when the other nations search for God and they say worship God, they're just looking for the benefits. They're not looking for the obedience. That's why these arguments about Gentile salvation is so retarded. Because it's like you're giving into the belief that you just got to believe in God and want God to bless you. Show me the heathen nations that want the obedience. That's what I want to see. That's so few and far in between. You show me a heathen that wants the obedience of these laws, I'm going to say, I bet you he goes back to Jacob. But the rest of them, they look just like him. They don't want God. They don't want salvation. They want blessings. So really, what the other nations want exactly what we say. Really, they just don't want to be destroyed. So they want Isaiah 14. Because all they want is benefits. They don't want obedience. They don't really want to be the servants of God. They want to be saved from destruction. They don't want to be saved from sin. Do they want to be saved from sin? That means you stop sinning. Yay or nay? Nay. They just don't want to be destroyed. So you find their salvation, Isaiah 14.
Isaiah 14?
Nah, but I'm just saying. So But I was just saying that's where these doctrines come from. So when you fall for that, when you fall for that trick, because some people fall for that. Some people be in a camp or a school, or in even just in the belief, even individualites in the belief of keeping the laws, don't want to do camp, don't want to be a part of the school, want to be by myself. But yeah, we're supposed to keep the laws for Israelites. People start hearing these things and they start reasoning in themselves and they start following them. So, and when you fall for that, you're falling for something that was brought down to you from the oppressor that you think that you're about to be taken up and saved from. But that's who gave you that doctrine that you don't have to keep the Sabbath or you don't have to grow your beard. Or Muslim just means serving the God. We doing righteous. The Quran is just giving understanding of the Bible. No, it's not. The only people that don't read even say that. I've sat and started reading it. It's like, this ain't it. But you have to read it to know that. And you have to read it with a sober mind. Not go in prison, smoking K2 on the low, then going to the getting in your Muslim gang, right? No, actually sit and read it with a sober mind. You're gonna say, pass me that Bible back. Give me that Bible back. This thing is changing stuff. Talking mystical, like just
Saying stuff the prophets didn't say.
Yeah, saying stuff the prophets didn't say.
There's something in Isaiah somebody just pointed out. I can't remember, but
Mm-hmm.
Quran say Isaiah said this, but the actual book of Isaiah doesn't say that.
Yeah. So then they gonna throw out this is the only book that ain't been tampered with. That book's been tampered with. That's why. Like, come on, man. Prove it then. Because there's plenty of proof that like you don't have the original Quran, but that's where it goes, man. That whole following the nations, you're serving other gods, man. You taking these doctrines that come from the nations and following them. These doctrines was passed down from nations that want to keep you on the bottom. They want you destroyed. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to read Deuteronomy 9. You believe you don't got to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, go work every day. Stop taking days off. Work like that Rihanna song until one day you just give up the ghost. Because you ain't got to rest. So don't rest. Okay. Have fun with that. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 1.
Deuteronomy 9:1. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day, to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself. Cities great. Let me do that over again.
I think you're good.
Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day to go into possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, whom ye knowest, and they of whom thou hast heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak?
Mm-hmm.
Understand, therefore, this day that the Most High thy power is he which goeth over before thee, and a consuming fire he shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shall they drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Most High has said it unto them.
And reading this, it makes me think of something I hate to hear, man. I've heard it. I just hate when I hear it that Israelites say. If just when they talk about, every now and then, like somebody will say, why we don't just go knock out Esau or something, and they'll say, that's dumb. We can't take out Esau. He got guns and weapons and bombs and just all this. We don't got enough manpower, firepower. You can never take over Esau. Man, I hate when people say that. The hell with that. We can't do it because we still in sin, but it ain't got nothing to do with their firepower. And that's what he's saying here, because he's reminding them, he's saying, yeah, they great, and y'all already was like scared of them. So he's showing like, yeah, the greatness of these people, the greatness of whatever people you might have to conquer or might be up against. You ain't supposed to fear their greatness. You ain't supposed to fear their greatness because you're supposed to, it's once again, remembering Yahweh, your power. It said he goes before you as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them and he shall bring them down before your face. So we understand that we can't, like it, y'all. Hey. No, I don't think so. He's having a moment. He's tripping. But Salakia, so what was I saying? We supposed to Esau. Yeah, we understand, like, yeah, we can't go against Esau. But the reason ain't because of their weaponry and how great a nation. It's not that with anybody, any nation, the greatness of that nation. So I hate when I hear that because
it makes it sound like punks.
Right, and it makes it sound like faithless. Like it kind of sounds like, okay, what about all the other acts that the Lord did to great nations? To say that, like, I just don't like that thought even being spoken in the air. Go to First Ezra 8:52. Like, this is things we supposed to remember, right? And this is part of, like, the law said not to forget the Lord your God. That's why you can't have a mind like that, because it starts out with just ideas like that, which, like, we subject to Esau. But it was never because of their power. The reason that they was given that power, the reason they was able to even come over here and conquer with the sword is because that's the blessing they gave. But the reason they was able to work against Jacob is because of what? We lost our power. Like, we gotta remember, our power is the Father in heaven. Oh, First Ezra. I meant Second Ezra. First Ezra 8. But you start out thinking that, and then it becomes something else. It's just everything that you give your mind to it's like a seed, man. That thought's a seed, and that seed is gonna grow into something. So you gotta feed your brain. You gotta feed your thoughts with things of faith and strength in that faith. First Ezra 8:52. Hold up. Let's start actually. Start at 50. This is Ezra. Context. This is Ezra talking to the king of, I think, Persia at the time. He's been granted leave to go back to Jerusalem. So the context is he's talking about them going this long trip through dangerous territories and stuff like that. So as First Ezra 8 started verse 50. That's the context what he's talking about. Anybody?
Yeah, I thought someone said they had it.
First Ezra 8, 50.
Huh. It's also on the screen. I don't know if you're able to see it.
First Ezra 8 and 50. And there I vowed a fast unto a young man before our Lord, to desire of him him a prosperous journey, both for us and them that were with us, for our children and for our cartel.
So for this safe journey, Ezra resorts to prayer and fasting, right?
For I was ashamed to ask the king's footmen and horsemen and conduct for safeguard against our adversaries.
So he was ashamed to ask for help from the king. He was ashamed to ask the king, can you send military, modern day terms, soldiers, police officers, a police escort, a military escort to get us there safe. He was ashamed to ask the king for fleshly men to protect our people on this journey back to Jerusalem, right? So he prayed and fasted. Keep going.
For we had said unto the king that the power of Yahweh our power should be with them that seek him, to support them in all ways.
He said, what?
For we had said unto the king that the power of our power, the Lord our power, should be with them that seek him, to support them in all ways.
You see that? Ain't no adversaries that can overpower the Most High. So when you say that, when you say things like that or think like that, it's like, well, you don't have faith that the Most High can protect you or destroy for you. So that's either you don't believe in him or you got a guilty conscience, right? In yourself. There's something there that's allowing you to have that belief. Now, understanding the understanding should be we still a nation in sin. And what it takes to get out of the bondage, the captivity, the control of Esau, we're missing what it takes to get that. I know that through the scriptures. I know that through how we even got where we're at. It should never be, oh, look at they got G.I. Joe technology. They got the Fast and Furious eye in the sky technology. They can drop a bomb anywhere with technology. They can take you out technology. We can never defeat Esau. Man, none of that matters. None of that matters. Oh, Kalak, they got a roll. Could you come up here and take over reading? What? Yeah, none of that matters. Let's go with Isaiah 54. (14 to 17). But before you get that, I got one for you. Just one verse. Proverbs 12:21. Right. Because these things that we're going over, if this is what's in your mind, and this is what you believe, you're not going to give yourself over to thoughts of Esau's so great. We could never conquer Esau because We don't got the military numbers. We don't got the weaponry. Proverbs 12:21. Look what they did to Panama. They had they blowing holes through people with lasers. And listen, we know all those things that happened to us at the hands of Esau. We were given over to that. We were given over to that as punishment, not because they're so great. Everybody's been great. Every nation was already multitudes when Jacob was only him and the 70 others that came into Egypt. Every other nation had thousands and millions by now. So we've always been outmanned, outnumbered, the least. I'm pretty sure, I think we're the last nation that was formed. The youngest of all nations. Every other nation was already established while Jacob was still him, his son, 12 sons, and their wives and children. Let me get that Proverbs 12:21 first. I want you to do the Isaiah and 14 to 17. You're already there, so just bring it out.
There shall no evil happen to.
Don't go too fast. There shall no evil happen to who?
Wait, what?
Keep reading. I'm saying to who? I paused you. Keep reading. You can start over, but don't read it so fast. Verse 21.
There shall no evil happen to the just. Just, but the wicked shall be filled with
mischief. So straight up and down, if we're just, it don't matter. It don't matter how many. It don't matter the weaponry. Even on a small scale, going out in bad neighborhoods, going out your door, driving through different neighborhoods, door dashing or Amazon deliveries, or just getting to and fro. You gotta go through the worst neighborhood in the city. Niggas looking at you like meat. It don't matter. Yeah, be just. That's why what matters is your conduct every day when people ain't looking, because you have a conscience of what you've been doing. And if your conscience is clean, you don't have a worry. When your conscience ain't clean, because you know you've been a nigga on the low, yeah, then you worry. Because you know the wicked shall be filled with mischief. Yeah, I've been putting on like I'm just and righteous. That's just in front of people. I'm really a nigga and a demon. I'm on demon time when ain't nobody looking. Yeah, then you got something to worry about. Get that Isaiah. Let me get there myself.
Isaiah.
Let me get there too. $54. But yeah, your conscience bears witness. Your conscience condemns you. That's how it condemns you, by giving you fear, giving you thoughts that we even though we got the Most High with us, but we can't overtake them because they so great. Are they greater than God? All right, right? So Isaiah 54. Start 13. Hold on, I got a question, I think. What's up?
Do I still need to read this?
No, we dropping that. So go ahead. Isaiah 54 and 13 to 17.
Isaiah 54:13. And all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh.
So if you're taught of the Lord, so teach your children. That's how we're gonna overcome this devil. The Edomites. We waking up, and when we waking up, we teaching our children. Eventually, it won't matter those. My bad. Eventually, it won't matter all those that you try to teach the word and they reject it, because you teach your children. Make sure you teach your children, and it'll multiply even without bringing in outsiders. But the Lord still got outsiders that's gonna come in. But your children shall be taught in the Lord. That's the key, being taught in the Lord.
And great shall be the peace of thy children.
When you're taught in the Lord, there's peace. It's a guarantee of peace. Go ahead.
And righteousness shall be thou established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from a terror, for it shall not come near thee.
So Esau, they so great. All the nations great. But what about this though? Where is the asterisk that says, in righteousness shalt thou be established, be far from oppression, not fear, far from terror, and it not come near thee, except if that nation be so big and great and have catapults and weaponry and bombs and nukes. Does it say that after? We'll see. Maybe verse 15.
And all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh, and great shall be the peace of thy children. And in righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the asterisk. No, I'm being facetious. Go ahead.
For it shall not come near thee.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, they shall surely gather together,
Mm-hmm.
but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake.
Wait, where's the asterisk? No, they're great though. The nations against is so great. Oh, they're so great. We can never ever overcome them. National birthday 250 will surely be 350 and 450 after, because they're so great. Keep going.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
See, that's the thing. The Most High created the maker. All the weapons they got, every advantage they got, the Most High made the maker. That's what the smith that bloweth the coals means. He's the creator. This is speaking in medieval or ancient times. It's taught. So how did they make the spears, the swords, the what's it called that shoots the arrows? But the one that's like a gun, crossbows, all those things, catapults. The Most High made the creator of it. Go ahead.
And that bringeth forth the instrument for its work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
See, so he created the waster to destroy. So how did we fall as a nation? We gave him reason to take away our cover. And now that destroyer that he created is going to destroy everything else that was already destroyed. And now the people of God, because we gave up our protection. It got nothing to do with the weaponry at all. Verse 17.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
See that? Go ahead.
This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh.
This is part of your heritage. Everybody talk about their heritage, right? That's why, like, you can throw out that whole other nations becoming spiritual Israel. This is the heritage of Israel, a physical seed line, having God to protect them from the smith that he made. How does the bringer forth of an instrument of destruction now become part of the protected from that instrument? That makes sense. That sounds goofy as all hell. I don't. Right? Part of the heritage of us is the protection from these other nations that seek to destroy us. And he made them thus. He made them great. He gave them their weaponry and everything that makes them appear so great. But our heritage is him. So if we're just, guess what? If we're righteous, guess what? Don't matter. None of that. None of that matter. Even sometimes when we were still wicked, he wanted to give us a little leeway. What happened? He destroyed the destroyer. Didn't matter how many people they had. I mean, weapons. Let's go back. Deuteronomy. So we're in chapter 9, verse 4. He read 3.
Speak not thou in thine heart after the Lord thy power hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness Yahweh hath brought me in to possess this land, but for the wicked of these nations Yahweh doth drive them out from before thee.
That's another thing too. He's teaching us not to be prideful. Because we was already not righteous when this was happening. He did this, why? Promises he made to our righteous forefathers. Right? But that's why, like, it didn't last long. We got our ass whooped again and again. Right? But see, well, that's another thing, though. Once it happens and we get benefits from the Lord, you'll go in and you'll be in these benefits and start saying, yeah, I got this because I'm righteous. Nah. You have to follow righteousness and be righteous. But you can't call yourself righteous because you was wicked. That's another thing. They get confused with the whole sin thing. Yeah, we can't keep the law because it says, cursed be he that says he's not a sinner. Yeah, because you are a sinner from, you did sin, but you can change. It's not hard. And once you change, you're not supposed to say, I've never sinned. It's all that's teaching. But the heathen don't understand that. That's why they push forth those doctrines. You got simple Negroes that'll follow a vocab or follow a seminary school teacher. Because you're following other guys. And they're the guys that want to remain the top guys over you. So they give you these doctrines and you fall for them. And then we just still waiting. Singing Kumbaya in Hebrew. Well, that was Hebrew. Anyway, you get it. Keep going.
Not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart doeth thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations Yahweh thy power doeth drive them out from before thee, in that he may perform the word which Yahweh sware unto our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that Yahweh thy power giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people.
Also, a question. Ask yourself, when did he ever promise the fathers that I'm going to cast off your descendants, and out of all these nations that you don't want no part of now, right? Because Abraham left people, family, descendants, his people, because they were wicked as hell. He didn't want no parts of that, right? Isaac followed his ways. Jacob, all that. Didn't even want certain people like Canaanites, Edomites, Ishmaelites. Don't go marry them even. So these men didn't want any parts of all the nations around them. But you're going to sit here and say that the promise to them was your seed will be cast off for wickedness. But don't worry, I'm going to give you new seed of the descendants of these people you don't want no part of. But they're going to be called by your name, but they're of the seed of these people you're avoiding. Once again, see how retarded it sounds when you just sit and think about what's being said and taught and put out in the universe. Yeah, Israel's done away with it. That don't matter. It's the other nations, they're Israel. That's what it means. When you read that in the New Testament, yeah, it is Israel, but it's Israel because the descendants, these other nations that the fathers wanted no parts of, their descendants are gonna take on that name and replace their little descendants. Your bloodline don't matter to you. Nobody really cares about their seed line. 1,000 years past their going. That's stupid. Because I do. I think everybody in this room do. Y'all want y'all great grandkids that you're never going to meet 100, 200 years from now replaced with the grandkids of the Edomite across the street, or the Arab that's selling you chicken platters at the convenience store. Like, yeah, I won't be here anyway. I don't mind if their kids replace my kids and my inheritance. That's foolish. That's foolish. But our people don't think, destroy for lack of knowledge. And that's the thing. The nations that put forth that nonsense, they know it's nonsense. They just know, look, if I can get you dumb Negroes to believe it, guess what? I'm going to be able to stay in your lot. Replacing your descendants from your blessings and your position on top. They understand that. But when you think about it, it's retarded. It's literally sounds like a mental illness, but we understand that we are. That's what it means when my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You see simple things like that. Destroyed. Verse 7, I think. Verse 6.
Remember and forget not how thou provokest Yahweh thy power to wrath in the wilderness from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, until ye came into this place. Ye have been rebellious against Yahweh. Also in Horeb ye provoked.
Hold on real quick. See, hey, Yakiman got a good testimony on that. What I was just saying about other nations replacing you from your whatever you leave behind, your dominion or just your house, your stuff, your businesses. He said Arabs just what's that say? Arabs just bought my grandmother's restaurant. I am devastated. Yeah, and I feel that pain. Because his grandmother had a restaurant, different turmoil, arguments within the family, whatever, somebody sold it. He's not happy that a family business or structure that had a business has been sold to other people. They wouldn't be happy either. That's why it's so retarded. Like Arabs would be pissed off that their grandfather's corner store was sold off to some niggas. Just because the descendant that got it passed down to him didn't appreciate it and felt like I'll just sell it off. No, they should have gave it to another family member because the family does care. You care about your bloodline, physical relatives, descendants. You don't want them replaced if they wicked as hell. You want them brought out of that wickedness. You want them molded into something new, not replaced with the Arabs or white people or Chinese people. Like, just replace them. If my great grandkids are wicked, just replace them. Just give my stuff to some Chinese kids. Let them open a restaurant and sell all types of abominations. All right. Stop. And people don't think. People really have zero reasoning ability. I'm gonna be livid. They sell tobacco and smoke products. Yeah. So they replace it, and they replace it with a business that does all type of sells all type of things that you would hate to be sold in that establishment. Selling cigarettes to your own people.
Also, like in Africa, where they'll marry the Africans so they can get their land and sell the Africans. And now they can have the land. And then they'll marry their people.
Right. That's why, exactly. And that's why certain nations, the Lord said, you don't do marriages with them people. And then specifically, he said, if you only got daughters, you don't marry them to somebody outside of that tribe, because that's what happens. What's it called when you pass down something? Inheritances get shuffled around like a deck of cards. It's a dumb thought. What you was gonna say?
I was about to say that these nations are pawns in the hands of the Most High. They're just to provoke us to jealousy, so that we would get it right.
Yep.
And they use
but now we ain't even getting jealous. We're like, yeah, that makes sense.
And the vitriols at large that they sell out of their corner stores in Tobago, or whatever they call them, and those are just to keep us and to extend our captivity, to keep us in sin.
Right, and they know these things. That's why I like is this, man, we gullible. That's the word. We are a gullible people. Those that fall for it, which is most of us. But you gotta be gullible to fall for these different doctrines that come from the very same people that have had just been destroying you from the onset. Even today, man, like you out there protesting over what happened with the white cop and the kid out there. But you're not going to turn from following their teachings, their ways, their dream, the American dream. You should be outraged at what they did. It's supposed to go past a protest. Well, we should be, every time that happens, that protest shouldn't stop. Once you forget about what happened with that, you should go protesting now every time one of our own gets killed by another of our own. But that's the problem. So where are we at?
Also in Horeb, you provoked Yahweh to wrath, so that Yahweh was angry with you to have destroyed you. When I was going up into the mount to receive the tablets of stone, even the tables of the covenant which Yahweh had made with you, then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. For Yahweh delivered unto me 2 tablets of stone written with the finger of Yahweh, and on them was written according to all the words which Yahweh spake with you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly.
Hey, if it don't matter, if you don't got to keep it, why would he write it in stone? Because when something's in stone, what happens? Can't be erased. It's going to go further because he's going to end up having to break those. Let's see what happens after that. Go ahead.
And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Yahweh gave me the 2 tablets of stone, even the tables of the covenant. And Yahweh said unto me, Arise, get thee down quickly from hence, For thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turned aside out of the way, which I've commanded them.
Similar to for salvation, I don't gotta keep the Sabbath. I'm not gonna be kept out of the kingdom because I don't grow my beard, or I'm not gonna be kept out of the kingdom because I live an alternative lifestyle. Well, they went quickly out of the way, like you. Go ahead.
Which I commanded them. They have made them a molten image. Furthermore, Yahweh spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their names from under heaven, and I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than they.
So for breaking a commandment or commandments, he was going to destroy them for that the first time. If it don't keep you out of the kingdom, what does? They were going to be destroyed. Let's see why they weren't destroyed. Go ahead.
So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the two tables of the covenant were in my two hands. And I looked, and behold, ye had sinned against Yahweh thy power, and had made ye a molten calf. Ye have turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahweh had commanded you. And
he commanded the Sabbath, he commanded the beards, he commanded the not being part of the alphabet community, and so much more. Go ahead.
And I took the two tablets and cast them out of my two hands and brake them before your eyes.
So he broke those tablets. Go ahead.
And I fell down before Yahweh as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I did neither eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sins which ye sinned in doing wickedly in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger.
So yeah, because of the Sabbath day don't matter, the laws of God don't matter. He was going to destroy you, but Moses prayed for you. Just like he was going to destroy you, Christ came and prayed for you. Because when he died, what's the last thing he said? Forgive them, they know not what they do. That's when you was forgiven. That's why Paul and the apostles taught we have power to forgive on earth. That's when we was forgiven. See, simple Christians like, yeah, we was forgiven because he died for us and he fulfilled the law for us. You're forgiven because when he was dying, he said, forgive them. Go ahead.
Then you can look at the magnitude of Moses. Moses went up there for 40 days and 40 nights not eating. And when Christ walked with the disciples, they couldn't do it for a night. This brother went up there for 40 days, 40 nights, and come down the hill and see you acting like a heathen.
Teach out. Yep. So, but that's the thing. Now it's Christ. Well, okay, he was going to destroy you. Then Christ pled for you. And we're saved through Christ, right? Well, he was going to destroy us. Moses went and prayed for us. And we didn't get destroyed because he prayed for us. Watch what happens. Since it don't matter, you don't need it for salvation. Keep going.
I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure wherewith Yahweh was wroth against you to destroy you. But Yahweh hearkened unto me at the time also. And Yahweh was very angry with Aaron, and Aaron to have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also.
So why wasn't Aaron destroyed? Go ahead. Not because it don't matter. Not because you don't need to keep those commandments for salvation, because somebody prayed for him. And yes, Christ prayed for our forgiveness, right? Once again, let's see what happened after not being destroyed, being saved from destruction. Go ahead.
And I took your sin, the calf which ye had made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, and grounded it very small, even until it was small as dust. And I cast the dust thereof into the brook that descended out of the mouth, and at Tebra, and at Massa, and at Kibratha Havata.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Ye provoked the Lord to wrath. Likewise, when Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you, then ye rebelled against the commandments of Yahweh thy power, and ye believed him not, nor hearkened to his voice.
So when you don't do what he said do, that means you what? You don't believe him. Christians, man, apologists, they talk about, you just gotta have faith. When you disobey, you're not obedient. He takes that as you don't believe him. That's an act of unfaith. Go ahead.
Ye have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. Thus I fell down before Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights, as I fell down at first, because Yahweh had said he would destroy you. I prayed therefore unto Yahweh and said, O Yahweh thy power, destroy not thy people and thy inheritance, which thou hast redeemed through thy greatness, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember thy servant Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of this people, nor their wickedness, nor their sin. Lest the land whence thou broughtest us out of say, because Yahweh was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he had brought them out to slay them in the wilderness.
Same thing. Why would they be replaced with spiritual Israelites? Now you can say what? He replaced them because he couldn't correct them. He replaced them because he couldn't bring them into the kingdom. He couldn't get them right. He couldn't write the laws on their heart. He couldn't. That's what you basically say. That's so, see, that don't make sense. Because that's the pleading. Don't do it, because then they'll say this, that, and the third that you couldn't. But we know you can. See, don't fall for what these heathens teach, man. Don't fall for it. But keep going.
Yet they are thy people and thy inheritance, which thou broughtest out by the mighty power and by thy stretched out arm.
Keep going, chapter 10.
Deuteronomy 10:1. At that time Yahweh said unto me, Hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood.
So, they were broke. They were broke. He was going to destroy them. They were saved by prayer and pleading, right? A mediator, right? Like Christ. They were broken. But because of the pleading, he said, I'm not going to destroy them. What happened after that? He starts hewing. He said, okay, we're going to hew him out again. We're going to hew him out again. What's that show? Yeah, Christ died for you. You couldn't cut it. He was going to be destroyed. But guess what? We're going to hew him out again. Keep going. Let's see if maybe there's something different on these stones. Let's see if there's something different. Let's see if because he broke the first. Maybe he came back, and like Christians are right, he brought something new. Destroyed the first. We're going to give you something new. Since I decide I'm not going to kill you, you couldn't do the first requirements. All right, I'm going to mold them to you, because I'm going to mold to man. Man ain't going to mold to me. Let's see. Go ahead.
And I will write on the tablets the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark.
So he said what?
And I will write on the tables of the words that were in the first table.
Wait, you broke those. You destroyed those, though. Then Moses pleaded for us. You decide not to destroy us. Same words again. It's the same commandments. Keep going. We're going to read down to 4. And then that'll be it.
Okay. Which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tablets of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in my hand. And he wrote on the tables according to the first writings, the 10 commandments, which Yahweh spake unto you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and the Lord gave them unto me.
And there you go. And according to Christians, Yahweh, Christ is Yahweh. So I'm not going to argue that. I'm going to go with that right now. I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to say this. If Christ is Yahweh, the last time he was going to destroy us, and Moses pleaded, and he didn't destroy us, and he broke the first tablets, he came back again and made new tablets and put what on those tablets? The same exact thing. Christians are going to say that that's Christ. So Christ already did this act, and you think it changed now. And he teaches what the Father did. We ain't going to even go into that. But he said, keep the commandments. Everything goes back. These commandments was broken by us. Then they were broke. The physical stones were broken by Moses. He went and pled for us. The Most High said, I'm going to write him a new set of stones. So, and to be on stone means what? It's not erasable. You're going to put these on stone again because they're not erasable. And it's the same exact things that was on the first, even though it was broke. Boom. Somebody dropped the mic. Go ahead.
So for the same people, the same thing, forwarding the promise, the same promise.
Yep, the same people, same
no
promises.
No spiritual.
None of that. None of that. Reading is what they say, fundamental. It's hard too, but reading is fundamental. Reading can be the difference between you worshiping man and following your God, right? Or yourself, which could be your God. So you have to read. Christ said, show thyself, read, study to show thyself approved. You're studying so you know what's right and wrong according to the Lord, what's required from you, and you're approved because you're a doer of the word, not just a hearer of the word. Right? So with that, we're going to close out this week. Hope that lesson was edifying. It's the Shabbat. So once again, first and last, all praise, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Till next Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, and Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Book of the Lord and read.